Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors, it's Steven here, and welcome to another
Figure Fight.
Time for a mechanical showdown to end it all here, where we take two figures looking to aim for the same spot on your shelf, throw them together in the ring, and look to see who comes out on top. In tonight's title fight, it's a doozy of a brawl with Bandai against Bandai. Tamashii Nations against, technically, Tamashii Nations. Retroactively, that is. One would suppose, yeah, sure. SH MonsterArts MECHAGODZILLA 1974 versus the Chogokin MECHAGODZILLA 1974. Voted on in a patron's pick on my Patreon, it's time to see if an old die-cast figure held together by literal screws can hold its own against modern-day action figure engineering. Can the old tin can best the whippersnapper, or does the geezer still got it and we should respect our elders? Whoever loses, Bandai wins. As always, fan vote in the description. Get yourself a cold drink and a snack. One last chance for a piss break. Alright, here we go. Ring the bell. Time to start the
Figure Fight. Round 1.
Sculpt and Paint. This is critical. Ceteris paribus. This is a scientific research term for all things otherwise considered equal. Essentially, that's what it means. I have the Chrome MECHAGODZILLA Chogokin, not the normal one. And I'm not buying the normal one. What we can do here, though, is play pretend and assume that all things found on the Chrome one would be true if it were a normal MECHAGODZILLA, like we did in the Rathalos figure fight, okay? So let's just play pretend that we're going to judge the Chrome one as if it were a normal one. Okay? All right. Anyway, in terms of looks, it's not exactly about accuracy when it comes to a figure fight, but in the quality of the sculpted details and the paint applications and so forth. And we've already been through this so far in terms of talking here and showing the pictures, and I think the overall winner is rather clear. While the SH MonsterArts does have some finer details, most of the proportions are squat looking and there's some iffy paint, while the Chogokin has some minimally misaligned paint applications here or there. The Chogokin does have screws used to hold it together, as I sort of jokingly said to begin with, but only on the underside and the backside of the figure, so the spots where it's intended to be hidden. Slightly tough to call, but I think it's reasonable to say the Chogokin gets the point. Oh, and both have die cast. Minimal, though the Chogokin has more.
Round 2.
Accessories. The SH MonsterArts comes with alternate hands and a beam. The Chogokin comes with alternate hands and a neck piece to recreate flying poses. Also, detachable kneecaps or missile parts. Minor detail. I would say the Chogokin basically just doesn't integrate one feature the SH MonsterArts has incorporated into the articulation, so we can just give 1 point to the SH MonsterArts as a treat. As a treat. Alright, here we go.
Round 3.
Articulation. This is where we kind of get one-sided. We need to give the SH MonsterArts a treat because here we go. It isn't about the number of joints. It's about how you use them and making sure they're engineered well. Sure, the neck engineering on the SH MonsterArts is awesome, but unfortunately the shoulder rings can fall into the body cavity area between the shoulder socket and the actual shoulder joint, and they can get bent, they can block the shoulder from moving, and their intent is to hide gaps. But at the same time, the Chogokin is able to strike effectively the same poses without having those sorts of flaws. And it's even more so in Spirit of the Monster to get some poses achieved with fewer joints. It objectively does have fewer joints and a bit more limits to said joints, but it can strike the poses better. By the way, if you hit one of the dorsal plates on the back of the Chogokin's neck, you can get it to spin its neck around. It's a pretty cool feature. So, after exchanging blows, the Chogokin is the one standing up after this round, so it's getting the point.
Round 4.
Price. When the Chogokin was released in the mid-2000s, it was around 7,000 yen. When the SH MonsterArts released in early 2018, it was 9,000 yen before tax. On the aftermarket, the Chogokin, at the same time, could be had for cheaper than the SH MonsterArts. For the current day aftermarket, the Chogokin is not only still cheaper than the SH MonsterArts in the aftermarket, the Chogokin basically hasn't changed price at all in the aftermarket. So if you bought it like back in 2018, same price. So regardless of how you look at it, right hook, head down on the mat, the Chogokin's getting the point.
Round 5.
Scale. Here's the big dilemma for this video. The Chogokin is technically meant to just be a one-off release, though some have argued over the years it mixes well and was intended to be an accompaniment to the movie Monster series releases. Additionally, in terms of just raw scaling power, we loves us a big MECHAGODZILLA to throw down with our hero kaiju, don't we? Yeah, sure, boy. So for the SH MonsterArts, word was apparently to make relative scale Showa characters, and the MonsterArts just doesn't scale with anything. Anything. Showa Godzillas vary in size, but of the three that we have, two of them dwarf MECHAGODZILLA. And the Revoltech kaiju are bigger than what they should be scaling wise compared to the MonsterArts. It's just down to the mat. Chogokin has it with the win.
Final bell.
In nearly all aspects, the Chogokin wins. It's unfortunate, but in all regards, the SH MonsterArts just didn't have the effort into it, not only at its release, but at the current day. The upcoming Gigan nearly is suit accurate, and Hidora has a whole army behind it and just looks good. The other MECHAGODZILLAs in the line look great with plenty. You see the point that I'm getting at. If you're looking to get a Showa MECHAGODZILLA, or you're looking to get a quality collectible, the Chogokin is the way to go. Which, by the way, this is not a Soul of Chogokin. Speaking of Soul of Chogokin, there's a Soul of Chogokin Kiryu coming out a little later this year. The previous Chogokin was just a Chogokin, so make sure you go ahead and pick this one up. But of course, let's hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to vote in the fan poll in the description. As always, thanks to the patrons for voting. This video was fun and a long time coming. I'm glad I finally got around to it, so thank you for making that nudge. Here's your end card. Patreon support goes towards camera batteries, which I need to get another one because now I'm down to like 30 minutes per battery again. Charging cables, SD cards, mice, the whole shebang. So any support is amazingly appreciated. Thank you. Finally, the end card wherein you can find other videos to check out and even subscribe if you haven't. Thanks again. Be sure to subscribe for the next
Figure fight.
and I'll catch ya in the next video.